Most common at the moment for an office worker, common form of poor posture is the upper and lower cross syndrome. So the bigger lordosis, so more gap, more curve in the lower back, and after excessive curve in the upper back. So we ended up with pelvis down and something like this. Why is dangerous for us? The first thing is dangerous for the lower back. The lower back in this position has got a more compression on the spine, on a disc. So I don't have a skeletons
Do you
here.
want to use a spine?
Yes, please. We can go.
I have wonderful lordosis as well.
We can go here. So spine, ilium, sacrum, lower back, 5 vertebrae in here. Now,
Oh, is that sorry?
it's okay. So we can. Yeah. So now, what's gonna happen? If it's too much curve, so pelvis is gonna go down. We close this space in here. So what's going on is more compression on the system. If you're walking in this kind of posture, if you walk with the pelvis like that, what's gonna happen if you do some kind of high impact exercises or you do some jumps, the back, the spine is getting more into extension, and the disc, which is between the vertebrae, is just getting compressed. So on some point, the lower back can get unhappy. Now, body will do everything to keep the eyes level. So if we got too much curve here, after, because the spine is one unit, after, the body needs to somehow change the other bones in this way that you're looking forward. So it might put too much stress on the other curve. So we've got 3 curves, 1, 2, 3. So if this is too big, after the other curve is also compromised, and the neck might be compromised. I will explain it about a little bit later. Cool. Another thing. What's we need to tackle? We want quick results, and by quick results, sometimes, how does it work? With the body, we've got the small muscles which are close to the joint. So let's say that this is the joint. This is the bone. This is the joint. This is the capsule. So we've got the small muscles around this bone, and these small muscles, they rotate and stabilize this joint. If these muscles they're gonna get forgotten by the nervous system, by the body, they are big muscles on the top. So the big muscles, they should doing the heavy lifting. But if you don't have a small muscles, the joint might not have its stabilization. So you're more likely of getting some dislocation or some imbalances in a muscle. So we also need to remember about it. If we've got a bad posture, we might develop some headaches, we might develop some backaches, and we might develop some joint pain. Cool. Let's scroll it down, if I can. We've got this gentleman here working on his laptop. So what we can notice here, how he sits, how his spine is bent, after how the laptop is too low and his eyes are down, and in order to get the eyes on the laptop, the curve on the neck is bent the other way. What's going on here? The legs are bent underneath the chair and they are crossed. So in this position, this gentleman will end it up with really tight hamstrings muscle and with really tight calves. Tight hamstring equal back problem, low back problem. If any of you play football, and is gonna sit in this position for a long time, you are more prone to get the hamstring tears, to get some problems with the calves, like a calf tear, and and problem with the lower limbs, or maybe even some knees problem as well. Again, compression of the disc. So like I gave this example of the excessive curve on the lower back, the same, we could think about the excessive curve on the neck. So if we've got too much kyphosis after, the neck curve will change, because body will do everything to keep our eyes level. What's gonna happen, around this bit is the most flexible vertebra, is C6. So this vertebra anyway is pushed forward. If we start to get even more into this position, we're gonna start to pushing this vertebra more and more and more forward. This vertebra, from these vertebrae go the nerves, goes into the arms and into the shoulder. If this is gonna get too short, you are more prone to develop any type of pinch nerves or some kind of neural problems in your arm. So the most common ones, they will be thoracic outlet syndrome, which your arms, you've got a problem with the blood circulation, and your fingers, they're getting like a numb and cold, and after you just ended up shaking, moving, and yeah. Carpal tunnel syndrome. So around here is a carpal tunnel. If in this tunnel they've got nerves, veins, if this something gonna go wrong here, it's become inflammation, and after it's very limited space. After, when it's inflammation, the nerves get a pinch, and also you've got some pins and needles and pains in your arms. You need to be careful of it. So the setting up the desk needs to be as much ergonomics as you can, so you've got more chances to not developing this kind of conditions. Emotional stress as well. So the common the body, when it's depressed, you are more on the escalation. So you here in this position. If you here, you feel like you're tired, you feel like you've got enough of work, of life, of everything. So by changing, even when you after get rid of this bad thought, and you stay in this posture, what might happen? It might be more harder for you just to shake it off and forget about this depression, because you mentally might be out of depression, but physically the body is still here. So if you develop something like that, it might be harder for you to shake it off. So another reason to look after your posture. And financial costs for you, because you will start to pay for some kind of physio, chiropractor, osteopaths. If you're in a sales team and you work from a commission, you probably will be more focused about pain somewhere in here rather than making money. So it might affect your commission for the employer. For the employer, you probably will be less effective doing your work, because you will be just constantly moving, turning, or just to do everything to avoid this pain. Another thing, headaches. Many type of headaches might be from a posture, from muscle tension, from lack of vitamins, or lack of everything. But if the posture is bad, you're more likely to congest the muscles. So this place, shoulders, this all might be a little bit more congested. So if it will be some pain, headache from the muscles, it might be related also with the bad posture, and with the muscle lost the flexibility, but they're not healthy. They've got more toxins, they've got some trigger bonds, and this might affect. Doesn't have to, but it might affect the headaches. Let's move down. Now, the benefits of maintaining a good posture. The breathing. So the body, how does it work? Body, with the inhalation, we're going into deflection. With the exhalation, body goes into extension, spine goes into extension. So if the posture is bad, you've got some kind of congestional joints, the joints not moving, some processes of the spine are jammed, it might be harder for you to take the deeper breath, it might be harder to exhale for you, so exhalation usually is like also get rid of the stress. In inhalation, if you get stuck in an inhalation, we inhale, we stuck in an inhalation when we achieving something, when we running to the bus, when we need to do something what is prone, and we staying here and we're very phasic and we grabbing stuff. So if you're gonna get stuck here, it might be for you to harder to relax. So you might have some problem with the deep breathing, with the yoga breathing, to get the full capacity, to use your full capacity of the lungs. Next one, and what is written here, that the oxygen is the brain for the foot. So if you want to be sharp, if you want to, if you want to be sharp, your brain need to have oxygen. So it's quite important. Cool. Sorry, I'm a little bit lost. It's not my presentation. Let's scroll down. Tips to come back, poor posture. Mobility and stretches. I think the research been done that every 25 minutes the body is stiffening up. So ideally every 25 minutes, 20 minutes, you should move a little bit. When you're in one position for 20 minutes, you're gonna seize up. So ideally every 25 minutes, just if you can, just go to the water fountain, get some water, just stand up from a chair, walk to the kitchen, just try to maybe stretch from side to side. This might help with if you feel like you're stiff, like your body is getting stiffer. This might be one of the things. Any type of yoga, any type of the Pilates, any type of some kind of movement routine in the morning or during the work hours, it also might be very helpful. It will help you to maintain the room of motion of the joints. So you will have a full range of movement in your joints, which will be very good. If you're gonna get stiffer, I can show it on my arms. So let's say that this is the full range of the motion in my elbow joint. If I'm gonna get stiffer, the full range of motion will be here, 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 and at the end of the day, I won't be able to fully extend my arm, which will be really bad for the shoulder. So this might cause some problem in here. So daily stretching, very important, and if you can't move every 20 to 25 minutes, go for the water and try to stretch. Bad habits. Dim lights, I never heard about it, but apparently it's not good for you, and it's make you slouch. So I believe if it's not enough light, you start to get the screen a little bit closer to you, or maybe a little bit further, depends what is your eyes problems, and you might get yourself into some weird position. So I mean, almost 60% they sit with the legs like that. For ladies, all day on the heels, in the high heels, plus sitting like that, at the desk, sitting like that, on the tube, it's probably won't be good for your calves. You might start to lose the flexibility of your hamstring. Look on the people alignments on the tube, and probably at the end of the day it will be even worse because the people are tired after work. And if you use the back, just see how you wear this back, and how you wear this back. Again, the position of the neck, the C6, C5, C7. Make sure that when you're walking with the rucksack, make sure that your neck is relatively long. So set up this bit is relatively long. So try to not to walk like this, because high impact of the exercise of the walking and my damage your neck. So make sure that when you crank the back, your neck is long.
And
I
ladies
talked
with
too
their
much.
one strap bag
I
that's
know.
really heavy and you always carry it on the one side.
I do that.
Yeah.
With the back, carry on one side. Think about your intestine. So large intestine runs here. This is ascending, descending. If rib cage, underneath the rib cage. If you tilt to one side, the one side of the intestine, which run here, it might be a little bit more compressed. So it doesn't have to, it might affect the digestion, it might not. You've got the organs inside, stomach, spleen, liver. So if any type of side bending, it might affect how these organs, how much space do they have, and how they, if they compressed or not compressed. So just also think about these things. And listen to your body. So when you've got pain in the body, usually your body tells you that something is wrong. Something is wrong with your lifestyle. It might be something wrong with your lifestyle, that you might a little bit overwork yourself. What you do, it might be not really suitable for you. Or if you're a guy and you do heavy lifting programs and you start to lift 160 kilos on your bench, squatting 200 kilos, and the next day in the morning you're not able to wake up, or you feel like every single joint in your body is hurting. Probably you might need to train something, because otherwise you won't be able to do it for much longer. If you're a cyclist and your lower back hurts, if you're a cyclist and you've got really tight hamstrings, or the legs are hurting, maybe think about some stretching, and just to change something. Maybe change the diet, maybe just to play around it with a bit. Now, exercise tips. Core training will have a very positive impact on your posture. It will make you stronger at the middle. So for the guys lifting weights, it's the quote that you're not able to fire the cannon from a canoe. So if you're very weak in the middle, if you're really weak in the core, it will be much harder for you to use all the bigger muscles in a body. So everything starts from a core, stronger core, more grounding, reach for something, push something, pull something, squat with something. Make sure that you're stable here. If this is not stable, when you start to pushing something, pulling something, it might be harder. It will be harder, and it will put some recompensation on your bones and on your body. So internal pressure, what I said about the organs, that the organs doesn't have to, but might be affected, and strength, stability, and mobility of the spine. So some of you, they might need to work, I hope not, but some of you might work when they will be 60, maybe 60 to 68. What is the retirement year? 68, I think, these days. So what might happen, that later on in your career you might compete with the younger person for a job. So make sure that you're ready for it, and make sure that your spine and the body, is capable of this competition. So keep yourself in a good shape. It will be easier for you later. Now you need to take a control of it. So not just talking. Now is the time of doing. Join the fitness first. Go to yoga class. Do some weights. Jump on a cross trainer.
Come and see Yarrow, he's a
Come
personal
and
trainer.
and it might help you. Yeah, when you exercise, think why you exercises, think what you want to achieve doing this exercise, think about the movement. So like with everything, just try to make this exercise, this movement more mindful, rather than just going there and jumping or whatever, just not feeling anything. Just, okay, today I work biceps, so I will set it up my position, I will set up my stance, and to do the back set properly, just to feel this joint, feel the muscle, and also think about all of you. So to not recompensate with your posture when you do the particular exercises. If you're gonna go to yoga, and you're going for a stretching, try to remember to take some water with you, that the body better hydrated. I will be more flexible. If you're going to yoga, try to not to rush to the yoga, because it might be not exactly what you want to achieve from the class, from the relaxation class. Yeah, if you decided for some running or whatever, just get your maybe nice, set your treadmill properly for a run. If you don't want to run inside, just maybe choose the nice route around the city. Maybe go to the river, run by the canal.